there it is. It's like those two guys in that commercial. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Welcome back, folks. I'm Jon Najarian. He is Matt Mayor. He is CJ Reichel. And I'm Jon Najarian. This is the Daily Crypto Byte. We're having too much fun, apparently, or at least one of us is. And no, it's not because I've been drinking early. Not yet, but it's coming. By the way, did you guys see that? You guys are practically of the age of all those people on the beach in Florida. Did you see that they've got to have a curfew now at 8 in Miami to get the people off the beach because there's just too many people partying on the beach?
Yeah, it's pretty hard to stop spring breakers, John. Once you get them started down there, I mean, there's no turning back.
No, I agree. There is no turning back. And I'm going to play off of what Monty just said there, folks. As far as no turning back, Bitcoin, yeah, it was turned back at 60,000 temporarily. We'll see how long before that becomes support. And maybe I should pose that to you, CJ, right away. If we get rejected at a level, which a lot of folks have been looking at, 60,000, if we get rejected a couple times, does that mean eventually we have to test lower support?
Yes, I think so. The interesting thing, and we may be skipping a little ahead here, but Monty, the one thing I want to show that kind of goes in accordance with what John's bringing up here has to do with that Glassnode chart of the number of Bitcoin addresses with greater than or equal to 1,000 Bitcoins. And what you can see here is a very, very steep drop off in the amount of Bitcoin whales holding over 1,000 Bitcoins in their wallets. And so typically throughout past markets, we've seen this as the smart money. We've seen this growing in the accumulation phases and then gradually scaling out to take profit. John, on the cocktail hour on Friday night, you said that you took profit on Bitcoin just for the sake of being disciplined and just for the sake of taking
not for technical reasons at all.
Yeah, do you think that's what these institutions are feeling, or these larger Bitcoin whale wallets? And what do you guys think that kind of poses for 50K support?
I think that even though much bigger traders than me are likely to take some profits, I think they'll get right back in, CJ, which is kind of why I posed the question to you. There are some who will only hold it. You know, the hodlers that will only hold it, never intend to sell one. If I only had one Bitcoin, I wouldn't sell it at 50 either. At 60. And I didn't sell it at 60. I sold it well before 60. But I'm kind of playing the game that I think some of the ones that are big and come from a background more similar to mine than yours is that I think they'll play for, okay, we've bounced up against this resistance to the upside. We are likely to pull back. And my question still remains, how far we pull back, I don't know. You guys and AJ Monty would be much better at calling that. Is it 53? Is it 49 or 48? I don't know. I'll kind of know what it feels like if and when we get there. Not saying that we have to, but I just was doing it to be disciplined. And more or less, that was the whole impetus for me, CJ.
Yeah, I think you're not alone in that, John. Like you said, I think a lot of traders that come from the traditional financial markets like you do tend to be very disciplined, and or at least the good ones. And probably a lot of them took profit off the table here. And I just want to quickly touch on your point about kind of how far this can fall. And for me, it's just a matter of kind of when these whales will start reaccumulating, when these wallets that CJ was just talking about are going to be content buying back in after they just took some profits, like you said, around the ceiling of 60K. And one level that really stands out to me as a point of a possible reversal back to the bullish side is this level here of about 55K. So we've seen some strong resistance here in the past when we were headed up, and we've also seen some support here when we were headed down. So I think that this is proven to not only be a psychologically strong level, 55K, but also a technically valid one. So I think that perhaps this might be where we start to see some accumulation. And also this really ties into the greater crypto markets, right? Because we have assets um like like StormX or let's see what else, Mana, that have done massive gains this week. And something that CJ and I always talk about is the money in the crypto space doesn't move around randomly. When people take profits off the table with these alts like Mana or like StormX after they've done 10Xs in a single week, they tend to not just take that money out and keep it in cash. They'll put that money to work by putting it in the larger cap assets like Bitcoin and like Ethereum. So the way I see it, as a lot of these alts continue to spike and people take profits, I think that money is going to flow into Bitcoin and create a very nice price floor. So this is kind of going to work in tandem with those whales buying up at 55K. So that's what I'm looking for, is this ultimate confluence between the whales that CJ was just talking about, and between the retail traders that have been trading these alts. I think once they both become fully bullish on Bitcoin, that's when we're going to bottom out and reach new highs. So 55K is a level I'll be watching closely.
Did you guys see this one perhaps, that Bitcoin is larger now in market cap than PayPal, Visa, and MasterCard combined? And I'm not saying it's a payments network. And I'm not saying it's the same thing as, over at PayPal, it's Venmo, because I don't see too many people flipping Bitcoin back and forth across wallets. I'm sure it happens somewhere, but I just think it's, inefficient to do that. But I thought it was interesting that when you want to put it in perspective for people, that the fact that it's bigger than PayPal, MasterCard, Visa put together, all three of those, gives you an idea that, a trillion might not be toppy for Bitcoin. It might just be the next leg of where it's going, because I still think it goes a lot higher. Although I'm not as crazy bullish in the short term as Max Kaiser and some of these other guys that are saying 77, then 220 this year. Some people even have 300,000+ targets this year. I don't see that. But again, if I would have seen from 3,500 to 60,000 in the last year, I would have been a genius, and I didn't see that. And I'm no genius, obviously. So that's kind of where I'm at.
To your points about market cap too, we have things like Tesla and Apple nearing $1 trillion in market cap. And I think the thing that's important to remember with Bitcoin is probably the best analogy or categorization is digital commodity, because I think silver is around 2.4 trillion or something around those lines. Gold is up at 8 trillion. Bitcoin may or could go to those levels. So I think a digital commodity is probably the best way to categorize it.
Well, you guys want to dive into our doges of the day?
I think it's about
with
that.
Our doge animation.
He's up on the screen riding his rocket ship to some very high levels, just like the retail traders did this last week. So CJ, I know you have a pretty exciting one to talk about. A lot of traders in our community have been asking about this doge of the day that you're about to talk about. And for me, it's one that's kind of stood out because it's been such a steady performer. It's not like StormX. It's been like just straight parabolic. This has been a real good performer. So how about you tell us about your doge of the day?
Yeah, last week, Jon mentioned, how important volume is and how that's been a factor of what we're looking at. That's definitely a qualification for this asset today for my doge of the day, which is VeChain. VET is going to be the ticker on that one. And another aspect of what I like about VeChain is that just about 15 minutes ago, before we started the show, it reported a relative tweet volume of plus 77% and a relative trading volume of plus 60%. So when you get a very mutual increase in those two different types of volume, the volume not only in trading volume, but in relative tweet volume, that's pretty attractive and at least makes me want to look at that asset for the next couple hours, because like Monty said, it's been a steady gainer. and it hasn't shown any signs of weakness yet. So VeChain,
I just bought it. Just bought it.
John doesn't wait. John buys while we're doing the show.
Yeah.
I like it. I like
and
it.
you know what's really crazy? Great call, CJ. But Matt, what's really crazy is, especially with these digital assets, don't get sucked into this thing, folks. You don't have to go to the market with every trade, but since many of these trade in 4 and 5 figures behind the decimal point, in other words, this one was trading for what was it, 0.09 something, in other words, 9 cents, and let's see, 0.09639 was where it was trading when CJ was talking about it. Some people will try to go to that 100th of a cent or 1,000th of a cent and miss it. And it's like, you just can't pay the offer. You have to always, try to shave 1,000th of a cent. How many are you buying? If you're buying 1 billion of them, then it's something. If you're buying $1,000 worth or $5,000 worth, and you're trying to save 1,000th of a cent, it's like, you don't really want to be in, apparently, because you're probably going to miss it. And that 1,000th of a cent on 1,000 shares, 1 penny. So anyway, sorry, I'll let you go, Matt.
All right, I'm up. So I'm picking one that we've had on our list before. CJ loves this one. He's been bullish on it for longer than me now. But that is GLM, or Gollum. And
oh yeah,
I like this one a lot. It did a decent price move this weekend. It went up above 50 cents. And that actually, for me, was one reason why I still like it as a Doge of the day. It got above that psychological level of 50 cents. This actually isn't an all-time high for Gollum. It's been as high as 59 cents in the past. So I think that this week we're going to see some really strong price action for Gollum, especially considering what I was talking about earlier with the sort of fact that the money doesn't move around crypto randomly. And I think a lot of the profit takers that made money in the alts were retail traders. And I think a lot of these retail traders that just made a lot of money are going to try and do the exact same thing with other altcoins. And Gollum fits the bill for a lot of reasons as an asset that could really benefit from retail speculation. It has sound utility that is kind of something that is really reaching far in terms of like innovation. We talk a lot about how it's kind of democratizing computing power, which is huge in an era where digital goods and services are more popular than ever. But also, like I mentioned, the technicals are very sound. And I think people that are taking profits from assets like StormX are going to look to Gollum. So I'm going to be watching this one this week. I think it can make a run up to 60 cents by the end of the week. So I'll be watching this one, and this is my Doge of the day.
Well, you have that one up on the screen. I wasn't looking. Yeah, there it is. So see that to the far right, folks, that sort of cup that goes like this, the dip from whatever it was, like roughly from 50 cents on down to, where is that, 44, and then back up. On that chart, he doesn't show the volume, but I'm looking at the volume here, folks, on Gollum, and it exactly mirrors that. Exactly. I mean, a day after, as it started to sell off back down to 45 cents, it dips like this. The volume dips exactly mirror, it's the same image. It goes like this. So the volume has definitely picked up on the far right of that, just as Monty's trade starts running to the upside. I'll throw up mine out there. It's BitTorrent is my Doge of the day, BTT. And several of these got a lot of love last week late, and this one is moving, and it definitely has some volume pickup. So let me see. I'm just going to take it to a 7-day chart on mine. On mine, I can see that the 20th of March, it really started picking up volume. It has flattened out here, but if we get another spike like we got on about the 18th, it was 0.0015. And now I know that's cheap for a lot of you guys that are trading, but right now it is 0.0034. So we've got a better than double on that since the 20th. And, you know, that's 2 days ago. So I think we could see a move in here if we see volume picking up. So that's my Doge of the day. BitTorrent, BTT.
I think BitTorrent, out of many cryptocurrencies, definitely has that weird psychological penny stock type mentality, since, you know, the token price is so low. You know, it kind of tricks people despite the market cap being over 1.4 billion for that asset collectively.
Yeah, when they've got that many coins out there. Circulating supply, just under 1 billion coins, I think. What am I saying? 989 billion coins. Sorry, not millions, billions. Just crazy. All right. Well, guys, we want to thank our sponsor, Voyager. Check them out. Great place to trade virtually all the Doges as well as Bitcoin that we discuss. It's free, even if you don't want to go to the market with a trade. It's free trading. They pay interest on crypto, and they've got a lot of great ease of use on the mobile app, which is what I was trading on just during the show. So check them out, Voyager, and check these guys out, Matt and CJ. You can listen to them for a whole month and decide, okay, I paid $1 for that month. Second month is 29 bucks, but first month is $1. So if you want to check it out for a month, back and forth about all the technicals, somebody's in there 24 hours a day to answer questions and discuss whatever coins you want to talk about. So guys, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you guys for watching. We will see you tomorrow.
Thanks,
Thank
John.
you.
Thanks, everyone.